And then you mentioned Run DMC, hip hop, this phenomenon, hits, superstars are being built. You leverage that and get into Bad Boy, if I'm correct. Tell me about that transition.
A little before that. So funny story. I grew up in the Bronx, like I said. On the other side, where I grew up with my grandmother, had 2 or 3 best friends. This kid named Ralph, Shay, my man Greg, and Bert. Right, those are the guys that those are my everyday day one. Shay's family owns a very, very, very prestigious, super dope, staple, soulful restaurant in New York City called Sylvia's. So Sylvia's, everybody knows, if you come here, you go there, it's just a staple place that you visit. He had a cousin named Lindsay. Lindsay was actually an A&R, which I always wanted to be an A&R. Lindsay was an A&R for Def Jam Records. So here I am, maybe 12, 13, I'm on the block, and Lindsay's coming through the block in a Rolls Royce with Slick Rick. They're coming, he was Slick Rick's A&R, worked for Def Jam. So Lindsay has a Def Jam varsity jacket. You have no idea what that means for me, a 12, 13-year-old kid who already wanted to be in music since 10, 9, 10 or whatever, with Slick Rick, who's he, by the way, at the time, one of the flyest guys in hip hop. I mean, cardigan sweater, clutch. He had a Louis Vuitton clutch, my friend, a tote bag, totally confident, slacks, bally shoes, Kango, rope chain, and this is another reason, an example of why I wanted to be in hip hop. Just that, picture that, you know what I mean? And being able to see Lindsay, and I used to beg Lindsay for a job, or just beg him. I was 12. What was he gonna do with a 12-year-old? You know what I mean? But I just wanted music so bad. So, he just, I would always talk to him, and that alone was enough. But those moments, which was a little prior to Bad Boy, obviously, 10 years prior, if not more, that kept solidifying, this is what I want to do. I didn't even know what they were doing. Yeah. I just know that he was a rapper. Yeah. He had the hottest album, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. It's 1988. Lindsay, I know him. These people they're attainable. I can they're approachable. So it wasn't impossible to me. This guy that was on my block was doing this. He was rolling around with a rapper, one of the dopest rappers out. You know what I mean? So that made it possible for me. My belief right there was oh shit, I could do this. If he could do it, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something, and I'm from the same neighborhood he is. You know what I mean? Those things like that as a kid, it makes you feel yo, I believe I can really do this. So watching Shay and their family run a restaurant, a successful one that's still here, 20 years later, that taught me entrepreneurship. Watching Lindsay, work with many of artists like Slick Rick, and later on he got his own label and he signed AZ and Miss Jones, who different people from New York who were just doing their thing. Again, those things taught me wow, oh shit, this is actually real. So I was pursuing that from then. And if in my comments and in my stuff on social media, people who really know me, you'll always see them be wow, man, so happy you got to do what you wanted since you were a kid. You always talked about this. I talked about this since before high school. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always held a camera on me. So, if you know, photography is my hobby. So people you really got to do both the things. You only liked music and photography. And the photography is a hobby, I'm not a professional photographer, but made a decent, sold a few photos in my time. And, made it as a music industry executive. Goals accomplished, I guess.
So then the Bad Boy era, tell me about that.
So then fast forward, Bad Boy. Fast forward, I'm in the Bronx. I have friends who have record deals. So again, another big deal to me, the Legion, Black Sheep, Showbiz, and AG. These are all Bronx. Well, Drez and Long were from North Carolina, but when they moved up top, they lived in the Bronx. So, considered Bronx guys now. Along, like I said, this group called the Legion and this other group, Showbiz and AG. All Bronx natives for the most part, and they were my friends. So now I'm helping them promote their music. Me and my friend Bert, We're like making up our own flyers, making up our own stickers. We're promoting all over the city, going everywhere they're going. I'm actually going to like real hip hop shows with them, like, you know, whatever, in Queens, and just different club dates, and Trafalgar Square, which is like a Queens spot that they did a show with Tupac one time. Actually mad I didn't take pictures of Tupac that day. I don't even know if I have my camera, but they did a show with Tupac. Anyway, so now I'm experiencing all this as a youngin'. And again, another like reason or like, you know, example of like, oh, this is like real, like this is gonna happen. So from that and me promoting all the time, caught the eye of my man Super Mario. Super Mario was like the illest, dopest tri-state area street promoter. So he had accounts with different record labels where he would get vinyl, give it to the DJs. He would get like, you know, whatever, promo items and give it out at all of the popping spots in the city. He would always see me out and about with my guys, and he was up for a job running the promo team for Puff and Bad Boy at this time, 95, 96, 95, 95. And he, you know, he saw me in the street one day, questioned me about, you know, who I am and, you know, how long I've been doing this and blah, blah, blah. We kicked it off really quick. Great guy, amazing guy. And he was like, yo, in a few weeks, I'm up for this job with Puff. If I get it, I want you to be part of the team. And I was like, shit, fuck yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it happened. And like, he called me 2 weeks later. I was working at a lighting plant in New Jersey, like building lighting fixtures and like wiring and stuff like that, like an engineer, like whatever. Got the call, he was like, yo, I got the job, we're good. I was like, bet. And everybody at the job like really didn't believe I was gonna make it in music. So I hung up and I was like, I quit, niggas, like what? Fuck y'all, I quit, I made it, I'm rich, I'm in the business. Like, by the way, the job did not pay. It was a street team job. It was like an internship basically. So I quit my job, bragged and shitted on all these people and yeah, like not shitted on them, but I was just like, you know, like, that's right. You know, y'all didn't believe me, but what? I did it. And come to find out there was no pay. And whatever, I took it as an opportunity. In the end, I got like a $250 check at Christmas for like, you know, my services. I got a Bad Boy varsity jacket, which I still have to this day, which to me, that was bigger than any check. And I got a plaque for all of the records and, you know, that they had sold at Bad Boy. So because of my man Super Mario, I was a part of that team. But that only honestly lasted less than a year. I didn't feel like I really belonged there because Bad Boy had already started a few years prior, a little bit, you know, prior, and like it was built. I just joined an incredible wave. I joined an incredible movement, and I was, you know, I'm sure a decent part of the team, but I didn't really help create and build that label. I didn't feel secure walking around with Bad Boy on my chest like, what? Like, we here, we did it. Because, you know, I just was a part of it. I didn't do anything really except contribute at the time, whatever project. So that was the Bad Boy stint, and then fast forward to that, I heard that Rockefeller Records had started a record label, and a friend of mine was actually helping out, and I quit Bad Boy that Christmas when I got the jacket, when I got the $250 check and my plaque, and everybody was like, you're an idiot to quit the biggest label in the world, which it was at the time, Bad Boy Records, right? Everybody from Biggie to Total to 112 to everybody, you know what I'm saying? And to go over to Rockefeller Records, that was a brand new independent label with no hit records and no, you know, credibility, I guess. But I didn't need it. I believed that Rock was gonna be bigger than 10 Bad Boys or whatever other label that was out. And I went with my gut, never turned back. So I said, 3 to 5 years, I'm done. Nothing crazy happens, I'm cool. I worked with Jay-Z, bro. I worked with the biggest in the game. Biggest albums, biggest tours, biggest everything. What am I gonna do after that? Like who am I gonna work with after that's gonna be that, you know what I'm saying?